Hello, everybody. I'm Zarinabonu Otamirzayeva, and as a part of a global citizenship project, I've decided to choose Malaysia among the list of developing countries. And from my presentation, you will be able to know more about, first of all, geography of Malaysia, and then economy, following the political system of the country, and finally, Malaysian culture. So, first of all, when we speak about the country's geography, I think it's super important to start with the fact that it consists of two parts. First of all, Peninsular Malaysia and East Malaysia. And East Malaysia borders. Let's look at the geographical location of Malaysia on the world map. And as you can see, it really consists of two parts. This is Peninsular Malaysia, this is East Malaysia. Uh, well, East Malaysia borders Indonesia and Borneo on the south and Brunei on the west, and Peninsular Malaysia borders with Thailand on the north and with Singapore on the south. And by the way, the landmass is surrounded with little small islands, as you can see. So I've also decided to include the climate of Malaysia, and as you can see, I've tried to compare maximum temperature, which is green line, and minimum temperature in orange line, and average temperature in the purple line. And I can briefly say that it's almost the same. I mean, the temperature almost the same throughout the year. And as you may have already witnessed, highest temperature is approximately 31 degree, while the lowest one is 22 degree. So we can move to the economy of the country. Malaysia could successfully diversify its economy from agriculture and until today's robust manufacturing. And in this table, I've decided in this table, I've decided to demonstrate the GDP and GDP per capita in a period of a decade. And as you can see, both of them are continuing to increase, but both of them saw a decline in 2015 and 2016. But the last year, in 2019, GDP showed over $364 billion, while GDP per capita was more than $11,000. So here I've showed CPI, Corruption Perception Index. I think it's indeed interesting to know more about the CPI and at the same time very important. And Malaysia scored 53 points out of 100 and ranked in the 51st place out of 180 countries in 2019. And in this bar chart, I have compared them among the borders of Malaysia. And as you can see, of course, Singapore in the first place, and in the last place, Thailand, which means the corruption rate is high there, and here high percentage means less corruption here. And our country, Malaysia, is in the third place among these 5 countries. So the most important part of my presentation, why Malaysia is considered as a developing country, not developed. So although it's diversifying economic, although it's rapid economic improvement, it's because of gross domestic product, per capita income level of industrialization, and overall standard of living. Cannot compare with other developed nations. And even World Bank, International Monetary Fund classified the Malaysia as an emerging economy. And we can say that Malaysia shares common features with other emerging economic countries, developing countries such as China, Indonesia, Brazil, and that the features include low to middle per capita earnings, rapid income growth, high volatility, less mature capital markets, and of course, above average return for investors. So I think we can move briefly on its political system. The political system of Malaysia is considered as an administrative established government, which means there is no president in the government, there is a king, and the government is run by a prime minister. And the current prime minister you can see from the right picture, which is on the right, it's Muhyiddin Yassin, and the current king is Al Sultan Abdullah. So there are several political parties are working in the Malaysian political scene in accordance with its constitution. And first of all, I would like to show the government parties. It includes United Malays National Organization, a party that leads the power in the country and consists of Malays only. It's the largest political party. And second one, Malaysian Chinese Association. It's in second place. It's the second largest party and consists of Chinese only. And Malaysian Indian Congress, the party is in the third class in terms of size and shape. It consists of Malaysian Indians only. And then comes the opposition parties. The opposition parties in Malaysia formed an alliance under the name People's Pact. It includes Pan-Malaysian Islamic Party, Democratic Action Party, People's Justice Party, and and finally, the third one is the parliament. Malaysian parliament consists of 222 members, and while the number of seats obtained by each of the two alliances is as follows: ruling National Front 133 seats, and People's Pact is 89 seats. Here, as a part of political and social issue, I've decided to look deeper into human rights violations in Malaysia. And as you can see, Malaysia suffers from a lack of education or awareness and understanding on issues of sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression, as well as human rights, especially in the national education system. And raising the minimum age of marriage to 18 years old in Malaysia remains a hurdle in the nation, with several states against the move. And people with disabilities in Malaysia remain a disadvantaged group, with most of them still left behind in terms of economic, social, cultural, religious, civil, and political rights because of direct or indirect discrimination. And Malaysia still has inadequate legal safeguards against torture in custodial settings. And action by the government to effectively reduce and prevent acts of torture on those in custody seems to be minimal. Human Rights Watch Group even states that allegations of torture and mistreatment while in custody of enforcement authorities occur with alarming frequency. And minimum wage, occupational hazards, and exploitation of workers are some of the basic forms of discrimination faced by migrant workers. They are also at risk of becoming victims of sexual or labor trafficking. Uh, so finally, we can start about the culture, about Malaysian culture. Malaysia is a multicultural society with Malays, Chinese, and Indians living side by side, and the Malays are the largest community. They're mostly Muslims, but there are Christians and Hindus also amongst them, and the Malays can speak Bahasa and are largely responsible for the political fortunes of the country. Um, So here I've decided to choose the most main ones like national sport, food, dance, and music. First of all, it comes national sport. It is sepak takraw. It looks like the same, like rules are very similar to volleyball, but only you should play excluding your hands and arms and only using your body. When it comes to food, I chose nasi lemak. It's a Malay cuisine dish consisting of fragrant rice cooked in coconut milk and pandan leaf. And it's considered the national dish. It's also a native dish in neighboring areas with significant Malay population, such as Singapore, Brunei, and Southern Thailand. And the national dance is zapin. Uh, It's believed to have been introduced by Arab and Muslims missionaries from the Middle East in the 14th century, where back then only males were allowed to perform. And nowadays, female dancers are included. It used to be performed exclusively for religious ceremonies, but through the years, it has become a form of traditional entertainment because the participation of female dancers is allowed. And music genre, I chose Nabat. It's a choir orchestra played in Mali palaces as a symbol of power and sovereignty, and no Mali sultan is legitimately installed unless he is drummed to the sounds of the nabat. So here are the references I've used, the list of my references, and thanks a lot for watching my presentation. Bye bye.